This cardigan project is taking a little bit longer than I expected. So today we're going to be doing a little crochet and chat video where I talk about the entire plot of The Nanny while I continue working. Because the more I think about it, this whole show is kind of chaotic. And if you've never seen the show, it follows the wonderfully beautiful Fran Fine, played by Fran Drescher. So I have some notes here and on my computer. So if you see me look down at any point when I'm not working, that is what I'm looking at. So The Nanny is a 1990s sitcom that takes place between 1993 and 1999 in New York City. This is my progress. We're working on the front panel. The show follows Fran Fine, a feisty, fashion-loving woman from Queens, New York, who accidentally ends up working as a nanny for the wealthy Broadway producer Maxwell Sheffield. Over time, Fran grows really close to his three children, Maggie Sheffield, Brighton Sheffield, and Gracie, while bringing her loud personality, big heart, and very bold fashion into the proper Manhattan household. Through Fran's eyes, we get to see what it's like when someone from a working class Queens family finally finds herself living among the rich theatrical elites of the 1990s New York. And honestly, even that setup alone is kind of chaotic. The Nanny is one of the shows from the 1990s that has like a really great theme song. And the theme song of the show really essentially sets up the whole premise of the first episode, or the introduction to what is actually going on. So I thought I'd read some of the lyrics of the theme song to you, so that way you can like really get the gist of how much fun this show really is. She was working at a bridal shop in Flushing, Queens, till her boyfriend kicked her out in one of those crushing scenes. What was she to do? Where was she to go? She was out on her fanny. So over the bridge from Flushing to the Sheffield store, she was there to sell makeup, but the father saw more. She had style, she had flair, she was there. So that's how she became the nanny. She's the lady in red when everybody else is wearing tan. The flashy girl from Flushing, the nanny named Fran. Yeah, so again, iconic intro. Love that intro. Love that for her. Love that for us. Season 1. The show gives you the classes, the problems, and drops you right at the front door with Fran. It tells you exactly what she's about to go through. She meets the gorgeous Maxwell Sheffield at his house when she's trying to do some door-to-door saleswoman thing. So he sees her because she makes it very aware that she's available, which we probably should not be doing, ladies, but she does. And so he hires her on the spot kind of to be a nanny because he had sent out for a nanny to come in after his wife passed away because he needs help raising the 3 kids. And he thinks that this is who the nanny service sent. And when he just assumes that she's there to be their nanny, she doesn't correct him. She's definitely just like,
that's me, the nanny, sure. Let's give it a shot.
So anyway, he employs her, he hires her, she works out. Fran's a hometown girl. She's like us. And she made it big, so we're gonna root for her. Now, so there are some additional characters that we need to discuss. So Fran has a best friend named Val, who's eccentric and alive. She's funny and charming in her own way. She's not the brightest bulb in the box, but you know, she's dependable and there. She also has her mom, her grandma Yetta, and her dad, Al, but we rarely see him. He's mentioned a lot. Fran bridges the gap between the distant, rigid Maxwell and his 3 kids, Maggie, Brighton, and Gracie. She is constantly at odds with T.C. Babcock from the theme song. She's Maxwell's partner and is in love with him, but he doesn't really see her more than like a bro. She also hates the kids, especially in the first season. She's quite mean to them. I mean, this season really just sets up the charm and the flair and the love that Fran starts to have with the kids in her life, and just being herself. It allows her to be who she is, which is fabulous. We all came here for. There are hints at the romance between Maxwell Sheffield and Fran Fine. So season 1 starts with the slow burn attraction. And there's a lot of like funny, cute little scenes, and Maxwell's very uptight in personality. He's a British man. He's very wealthy because he produces plays. He's around a lot of successful people all the time. He's very like uppity, and I think his biggest rival is Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber, who was knighted and is a sir. So he's very jealous of that. He was jealous of Cats. He was jealous of Phantom. because these are all projects he was pitched and turned down. So that's like the dynamic of who Maxwell is. And Cece is his partner who works under him. So she is also not, I don't know, honestly, she's pretty much a yes man, but she doesn't like Fran because Fran is getting in her way of being maybe with Maxwell or at least acquiring some success. Fran is a very loosey-goosey woman, not loosey-goosey, yikes. But she's like a very free person. She follows the beat of her own drum. She doesn't really listen to a lot, actually. She does whatever she wants to do. And the two are absolute opposites. So it seems like an unlikely love story. But Fran is always looking for someone to help fill her basket when it comes to like finding a love match. And she's very open to the idea of being with Maxwell. They don't really get that far in season 1. It's just kind of tension that starts to get built. Season 2. So season 2, the romance grows. And jealousy. So Maxwell becomes increasingly smitten with Fran. She's been around enough now. The kids are starting to like her. He is getting to see in Fran what the kids see in Fran and how the kids respond to her. She's a part of the family now. She's been there for a while. They're settling in. But Fran and him have made it very clear that they're not dating each other. One, he's her boss, so like probably shouldn't happen. So Fran does bring dates to the house to pick her up, or she'll go on a date and they'll pick her up from the house because she lives there. This is her house. This is where she's telling the dates to pick her up from. And Maxwell gets jealous of the dates. He's not dating. He's so busy. Sometimes he'll go on a little thing here, but it's mainly work-related stuff. So their will they, won't they tension peaks around the end of the season in an episode called Strange Bellows when a drunken Fran literally stumbles into Maxwell's bedroom after a long party, forcing them each to address the feelings that they have together. So Cece continues her futile attempts to win Maxwell's attention throughout the full season, clashing with Niles, the butler, who's like becomes Fran's like sidekick and or additional best work friend. Like, you know, that's her work husband. He being Niles and Cece being the partner of Maxwell do not get along, and they have an interesting banter. They go back and forth in their own right. So that's really fun to watch. I want it to be said that throughout this full season, Maxwell is very clear that he would never, but he's not going to commit to Fran because of like the differences in their positions. He is, I think they mentioned that he might be a baron or something, but he is like an upper class man and she is a lady from Flushing, Queens. Not that there's anything wrong with Flushing. I actually love Flushing, but they come from different worlds essentially, and he's not willing to commit in any way that's meaningful. Next, season 3 of The Nanny is often considered to be the turning point of the romantic affair between the nanny, Fran, and Max Sheffield. So the tension between them is palpable at this point. They are literally moving like magnets, and the chemistry between the two actors is actually really fun to watch. The subtle attraction between the two of them becomes outright overt jealousy and near confessions culminating in a dramatic finale in Paris. So throughout the season, Maxwell becomes increasingly jealous of Fran's various suitors, including a doctor, a cantor, and a French tutor. The pair share several intimate moments of kisses, often followed by them backing away from their feelings and Fran forgetting or denying them. In The Two Mrs. Sheffields, Maxwell proposes to Fran just to spite his judgmental mother, only to have to admit it wasn't sincere, which causes strain between them. In the season finale, Fran ends up in Paris with Maxwell. On their flight back, fearing a plane crash, Maxwell finally tells Fran that he loves her, which is how everyone wants to hear that they're loved, is right before their plane goes down. So some key developments that happened during this season is that Niles and Cece, their rivalry continues, but with more underlying attraction. Niles frequently undermines her to get closer to Fran, while Cece continues her desperate attempt to win Maxwell. The kids, so Maggie turned 16 in this season. She is the oldest of the children. She starts around 13, I guess. She's a young woman throughout the whole thing, but she starts fairly young, and she ends the series, I think, about to go to college, if not in college. I think she might be in college. She gets into a pretty serious relationship. Maggie turns 16, Brighton deals with school and French tutors, and Gracie continues to be a sharp-witted youngster under Fran's care. Gracie is the most impressionable, so around this season, for me, is when I really start to see that Gracie, the youngest of the three, really starts to take on lessons that she has learned from Fran, and Grandma Yetta like becomes like a mini version of Fran in a way. And it's actually quite cute to see because she never really had a mother because her mom died when she was so young. The season has a lot more Yetta than the previous season, I wanted to say, so Grandma Yetta. Season 4. The Nanny focuses on the aftermath of Maxwell's I Love You in the season 3 finale, which he takes back. It's very much giving We Were on a Break. The 90s love that kind of like awkward tension between people in the will they won't they. I don't get it. Anyway, so yeah, he takes the I love you back, forcing Fran to demand commitment while not navigating his fear of vulnerability. The season highlights their will they won't they tension, featuring more comedy, guest stars, and dramatic life-affairing finale. It's actually quite funny to see the guest stars that are on this show because I feel like a lot of the people were supposed to be like really big deals and I had no idea who they were. Like they would pause when the person entered a stage and everyone was like, oh my God, in the audience. And I'm like, who is that? Like, why did we stop the show for this? I think they had Coolio. So after Maxwell takes back his love declaration, Fran faces insecurity leading to tension and her briefly quitting in the season premiere. Fran dates other people just to make Maxwell jealous, while Maxwell struggles with his feelings for her. The season includes high-profile guest stars, such as when Fran meets Barbra Streisand, gets a tattoo, experiences a hurricane, and deals with a bank robbery. So Fran's mom, Sylvia Renee Taylor, contemplates moving to Boca Raton, which causes Fran anxiety because where are they going to get money for that? She's still working, but she was not making Boca Raton retire my parents' money. While in London, Maxwell almost proposes but backs out, again frustrating Fran. However, after learning that Niles had suffered a heart attack, Maxwell finally realizes life is short and he needs a deeper commitment. Season 5. This is the penultimate season, so things start wrapping up pretty quickly here. The kids are almost grown. I believe Maggie's like 17, 18 in the season. She's getting ready to leave. Brighton is now in his mid to late teens, and Gracie is clearly starting to be older than her character is probably supposed to be. The Nanny focuses on the tumultuous transition of Fran Fine and Maxwell Sheffield from employee nanny to serious engaged couple. Following their first date, the season features high emotional drama while Maxwell's jealousy, a proposal, a prenuptial agreement dispute, and ultimately their wedding alongside continued comedy with Niles and Cece Babcock, who are the two people that work with them. This season is a lot. I think if you don't like the will they won't they tension, it's a really fun season to watch because they do happen to like struggle through and get between a lot of the class differentials, things that one person thinks is taboo but the other person thinks is necessary. That comes up a lot. That comes up throughout the whole show, but it really comes to a head at this point because they're merging their lives for good. The kids love Fran. There's a heartwarming episode where like Fran meets the maternal grandparents of the children. They don't want to acknowledge her because they're afraid that she is going to replace Fran, and the kids tell their grandparents all the things that Fran has done over the course of the 4 or 5 years that they had been together that helped them remember their mother. And Gracie, who never really got to see her, gets to watch these videos of her mom holding her. She gets to see they talk about her all the time, and it's really a sweet episode. It's sweet. It shows how well the family has actually started to come together. It's adorable. The season culminates in a 2-part The Wedding, where Fran and Maxwell get married despite the obstacles and doubt from their family members. Niles and Cece Babcock continue their witty banter with their relationship taking a dramatic turn, while Fran continues her often chaotic care of the Sheffield children, particularly helping Brighton. So this season also, there's a change in shift where it becomes a lot less sitcom-y. It's a bit more dramatic and serialized as opposed to episodic comedy, if that makes sense. It feels a lot more dramatic in season 5. So, season 6. The Nanny focuses on the Fran and Maxwell adjusting to married life, navigating a high-risk pregnancy with twins, because Fran is married. We never know how old Fran is throughout this whole season. They like make a joke of it. They don't talk about it ever. So you have no idea how old she is. But she gets pregnant and she has twins. So it's a high-risk pregnancy mainly because of the twins. And they're moving to California. They're leaving New York production and they're going to California to work in movies and TV and stuff like that to make more money. Cece and Niles actually get together and they end up being happy in a weird argumentative kind of way. And the Sheffields leave New York and they head out west, and that's where the show ends. I left out a lot of key pieces, but I hope I was able to like spark your interest to watch the show. It's a really good show. It's really funny. Fran Fine is a notorious fashion icon. She herself is a bargain hunter. She was continuously going to buy knockoffs or she was going to discounted discount stores. So stores like Macy's, but not Macy's, like a discounted version of Macy's. And this is like how the show is able to explain her fashion that she wears, because she wears any 1990s, big 1990s fashion guru you could think of. Any like fashion designer from the 1990s, she had a whole ensemble of them. And like the way that the show would explain how a nanny could afford those clothes is like she would say that she got the knockoff version of it that she literally wore like Moschino, Versace. I think she had a couple Prada or Chanel pieces. Like she wore anything. And our economic queen was an outfit repeater. She did definitely rewear some of those same pieces, especially in the beginning seasons. So it really helped the believability of this is probably something that is expensive for her. She is wearing it all the time. The craziest thing is that with these explanations and what she's wearing, I believe that you would believe it. It feels like, yeah, this woman is walking around in these luxury goods. It's like, how could you do it? Even the over-the-topness of the outfits that she was wearing from the designer pieces was very her in a way that feels like, yeah, this person is definitely finding a way to get those clothes. Like, this is her. Like, this is her. Like, yeah, she might make $1.75 an hour, but somehow she got this outfit. Like, that's definitely her outfit. Like, she exists. Like, there's a Fran Fine walking around New York somewhere today. I know that for sure. Even after she married Max, she continued to go bargain shopping. She even tells her heiress stepdaughters that they should look into her shopping places to get things too. So it didn't seem to matter, to be honest, how much money she actually had available to her. She definitely saw the value in bargain hunting, which we love that. Anyway, Fran was that girl, okay? She walks around in all of the iconic 1990s urban fashion that you can think of. If you can picture it, she wore it. She was an economic queen and she was an outfit repeater. What more could we want? And that's why she's one of the fashion icons for this sweater I'm making. I hope that was good enough to answer some of the questions as to like why would I want to base this off of Fran Fine? Because like I feel like people get it. You either get it or you don't. And now if you finish this whole video and you still don't get it, oh, sorry. I tried my best. Watch The Nanny. Learn from Fran. We can all get our billionaires somehow. Yikes, could you imagine? So this is how far I got in this video. The next video is going to be another video where I talk about making and designing this specific outfit. And it'll be more traditional as to what I normally do. So I really hope that you guys like this. I'm probably going to work on figuring out how to do the sleeves and seeing what kind of like, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to add. I will show you guys how much I'm able to get through. Now, this is what I'm filming this before I did anything. So this is where I ended with. Yay. Bye.